What up? I got Naskin here with me. This ain't a diss song, but yeah, you know what it is. I'm a cheesehead, y'all niggas cheese whiz. Pittsburgh Steelers, that's nothing. That Super Bowl ring, that's nothing. Pull up in your town when you.
Hello everyone, welcome to Total Packers with Matt LaFleur, Larry McCarren, along with the head coach of the Green Bay Packers. And Matt, no question about it, you're coming off a disappointing loss. What do you want to see from your team as you prepare for the Giants game?
You hit the nail on the head. That was an embarrassing loss, and definitely got out-coached and got outplayed as well. But you know what I like about our locker room, I think we have a resilient group. I think these guys will come back ready to work and get ready to play another important game against the Giants.
Now after the game, I was in the hallway waiting for our interview, and I heard your talk to the team. And I thought it was very well done. You didn't gloss over anything, but you definitely set the tone for moving forward. Now nobody is more disappointed than you. Is it difficult to come up with the right words at moments like that?
Yeah, I think it's always tough to think about what you want to tell the team after a disappointing performance. I know everybody in that locker room was disappointed, and but again, I tell you what, I love what our team's all about, and I think they'll bounce back.
Personally, how do you move forward? Do you see the film and then you're okay, or do you have to talk to the team and then you're okay? How do you go about moving forward? Because you're certainly the chief tone setter.
Sure, yeah. You study the tape and really have to take a good hard look at yourself and look at it critically. What we could have done better, what we would do differently, and you got to learn from it. Otherwise, it'll lead to another loss. And as long as you learn from it and improve and get better, then something good can come out of it.
Before we delve into the 49er game, one thing's got to be clear. That is a very, very talented football team, isn't it?
Yeah, it sure is. And, you know, they really dominated us up front, you know, talking from their defensive line. And we knew that coming into the game that they had one of the better fronts in the National Football League, and they really got after us. And but just like anything in this league, you get a chance to bounce back the next week.
Offensively, big picture sense, it seemed like you guys were kind of out of sorts. Okay, you have a turnover, but it's the first one in 5 games. You can deal with that, but there's some drop passes, untimely penalties. Just overall, you seemed out of sorts.
Yeah, we never really got into a rhythm, and then couple that with the fact that we finished 1 for 15 on 3rd down. You're not going to win many games going 1 for 15. So we've got to do a better job, and we talk about it all the time on 1st and 2nd down with that efficiency. So we're staying in those 3rd and manageable situations. I think we had 13 3rd down opportunities that were 7 or more yards. And so, but definitely a lot of room for improvement there.
Defensively speaking, Matt, there were some recurring problems. Tight end having a big day, crossing routes, explosive plays. Are those things where I hear in the locker room guys talking about eye discipline, communication? Are those some of the problems involved with those recurring problems?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it all starts with communication, making sure that everybody's on the same page. I think we can do a better job with our eyes when we're asking guys to drop into certain zones to make sure we're really keying the quarterback. But like you said, we had way too many explosive plays. I think we had 9 explosives for like 249 yards. So that's not going to cut it. We've got to get better.
J.K. Scott got off to a terrific start, but he seems to be in some sort of a slump right now. How do you work with a specialist who's not punting so special right now?
I think you just got to keep, just like you said, you got to keep working at it. And I've got a lot of confidence in JK, as do our other coaches and as his team. So I think he'll battle through. I know he's tough-minded, and he'll figure this thing out.
When you face some adversity, encounter some adversity, how much do you lean on your team leaders? What are your expectations for them?
Well, that's the beauty of it here. I feel like we have a lot of great team leaders, and that's something that we have those conversations. And, you know, like Aaron, our offensive line, Mercedes Lewis, Zadarius Smith, Preston Smith. We've got a lot of great leaders in that locker room, and I think these guys will set the tone for our football team.
Okay, moving forward, you're getting ready for a 2-9 New York Giant football team, but they are an NFL team, and that makes them dangerous on any given Sunday.
Absolutely. You can never take anything for granted in this league. If you try to overlook somebody, or you can throw records out the window. You said it, any given Sunday. So we're going to have to play our best, and we know that we're coming off a tough loss, and we've got to do it in practice. We've got to take every opportunity throughout the week to make sure that we're on point, so we can go out there and put a good performance together.
Thank you, Matt. Coming up, Packers linebacker Blake Martinez. Stay with us. Blake, you have been a tackling machine.
For us in our defensive scheme, I'm kind of a cleanup crew guy. No matter what gap it is, where the running back is, you just got to be there.
He is decked for a loss.
It's just huge that I'm able to do that for my team.
Snap Garoppolo under a blitz right away, hit and sack. Blake Martinez came in untouched.
Total Packers with Matt LaFleur is brought to you by Bell & Health and by Fleet Farm.
Garoppolo under a blitz right away, hit and sack. Blake Martinez came in untouched. Pressure immediately. He's hit and sacked. In there first was Blake Martinez. To Flacco looking, swings it right side. Lindsey. It's stacked up by the best tackler on the Packers squad, Blake Martinez.
Welcome back to Total Packers. Joining us now, Packers inside linebacker Blake Martinez. Blake, welcome to the program. There were not a ton of highlights in the 49er game. However, your sack of Jimmy Garoppolo was one of the highlights. Could you tell us the backstory?
Yeah, so it was a new type of play we put in where I was rushing off the left side. It's something that throughout the season I kind of haven't been doing because they want me to be in the coverage, middle of the zone. And so at that point, they didn't think I was going to come and came free and made the play.
That's got to be a thrill, isn't it? I mean,
Oh, yeah.
prime time, all that jazz.
Oh yeah, no, it's
In
awesome.
the area you went to college.
Yes, no, it was an amazing play, and it was one of, I was just, hey, got to make it when you have that shot, and I did, and it was awesome.
Blake, by my unofficial count, you now have 139 tackles. Is that a number that means a lot to you?
Yeah, it means a lot to me, but not in the sense that a lot of people from the public think where, hey, I have a lot of tackles, I'm leading the league, whatever it is. But for me, it's making the plays that come to me for my team to either stop an explosive play, and for us in our defensive scheme, I'm kind of a cleanup crew guy, I put it as, where there's no real gap assignments. It's more, hey, flow to the ball, play football, and make a play no matter what gap it is, where the running back is, you just got to be there. And so for me, it's just huge that I'm able to do that for my team.
Blake, you have been a tackling machinist. You've been a tackling machine since high school. You hold the school record. Is that more attitude or ability? Because you've always had it.
Yeah, I think it's both. For me, the attitude going into games, I just tell myself that I'm going to make every play, no matter where it is on the field. Just a guy that's been in systems where nonstop focus is hustle to the ball, nonstop pursuit. So any chance I can to make those types of plays. And then the ability, I think, for me, being able to diagnose plays and understand formations has helped me a bunch.
Blake, you never, and I mean never, come off the field. You were out there every defensive snap. Is that something you take pride in?
Oh yeah, 100%. I know when I got into this league, it was a lot of I guess, chatter throughout combine stuff of whether I could be a 3-down linebacker, a starter in general. And so for me to go out there and have that ability to play all 3 downs, and every single day I step on the field, whether it's practice, drills, whatever, in the meeting room, on the field, I hold it to huge pride for me that I'm going to make sure I'm doing whatever I can to not lose that spot.
You are the defensive signal caller. Could you tell us what that all entails? How many signals do you have to call to get everybody lined up and get ready to play?
Yeah, it depends on the given defensive play that is called into the headset. But for most of the time, there is a decent amount of kind of freedom for me, whether telling formational tendencies, whether run pass, certain defenses that need more help, calling stunts and those types of things to disrupt the front, empty checks, secondary checks, whether it's working with the nickel, the dime, those types of things that all kind of go into it that I have to kind of compartmentalize every single play.
Now, watching you play and the way you go about your business for the past 3+ seasons, very conscientious player. How will Blake Martinez go about getting over what was an ugly loss in San Francisco?
No, yeah, I mean, just take every single play to heart, and I think keep watching it over and over. I'm a guy that likes to watch the game over and over again, especially in losses, because I feel like that's when you learn the most. And for me, it's just not making the same mistake twice. And as long as we could do that as a team, we're going to be just fine moving forward.
Blake, what do you think is the #1 issue or problem facing your defense, and what's it going to take to fix it?
Yeah, I think for us, it's just communication factor. I think the understanding of what each and every guy on the field is doing and understanding what every single guy is thinking. And we can easily do that as we start growing that communication between plays, between series, within plays, pre-snap, all those types of things that allow us to know what we're all going to do, and we're all working collectively together as a group of 11.
Confident you can get it done?
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Blake, thanks for being with us. Good luck the rest of the way.
Yep, thank you.
Just ahead, this week's Chalk Talk. Don't go away.
Single receiver to the right, Garoppolo with the shotgun. Takes the snap, looks downfield. Pocket collapsing, hit and sack. Zadarius Smith got there first. Kenny Clark followed. Back inside the 10-yard line near the 8.
Total Packers with Matt LaFleur is brought to you by Fabic Cat, proud sponsor of the Green Bay Packers. The bottom line for Zadarius Smith, 6 tackles, a sack and a half, 2 tackles for a loss, and 3 quarterback hits. The only problem, it doesn't do his game justice. Zadarius, and watch what the Niners do. First of all, they chip on him, and then right away, they've got a guard looking to help on him. But Zadarius steamrolls the tackle to the point where the helper cannot help. And Zadarius splits the 2 and scores a sack. 3 against 1, and 1 wins. It wasn't always 3 against 1. Sometimes it was 2 against 1. And Zadarius makes quick work of the guard with the chop and rip. And then he makes quick work of the tackle. Zadarius winds up sharing this sack with Preston Smith. Now, any guy that can do that much damage north and south should not be much of a factor east and west, right? It defies logic. And teams run screen passes to negate rushers like Zadarius. Those teams may want to come up with a plan B. Zadarius is at the point where he is getting in guys' heads. He's doing the rover thing right here, and he winds up over the center. I guarantee you what happened because I did it myself. The center worries about blocking Za'Darius. He forgets about snapping the ball. He short arms it, and that ball's all over the place. Who knows what could have happened? With players like Za'Darius on the field and in the locker room, things ain't all bad.
I do like our group. I trust that we've got the right mindset and mentality, and they're a resilient group. I think we have the right leaders in that locker room, and I think that these guys will bounce back.
Total Packers with Matt LaFleur is brought to you by your local Chevrolet dealer, by Johnsonville, and by Spectrum. Welcome back to Total Packers with Matt LaFleur. And Matt, focusing on the Giants game ahead, Brian Balaga's availability, what are you anticipating?
I think that's going to be something that we'll know more later in the week. I do know this. He's a guy that got a lot of confidence that he's going to do everything in his power to try to get back as quickly as possible.
Matt, as we mentioned earlier, the New York Giants 2-9, and they've lost 7 straight, but 4 of those losses by 1 score or less. What are you seeing from them?
Yeah, I think they're a competitive football team, and there is no quitting them. That's for sure. They gave the Bears everything they could handle this past game, and again, got another away game going to the East Coast this time. So we've got to get our mind right and for another 4-quarter battle.
Daniel Jones, their new quarterback, the heir apparent, became the heir this season. What are you seeing? I mean, rookie quarterback, toughest job in football, you've called it.
Yeah, I think he is, he's a young player, but he's got a lot of talent, and he's a natural thrower. He's got really good vision down the field. I think he can move around the pocket, and I think he's a good up-and-coming quarterback.
Saquon Barkley, I mean, he had a terrific rookie season. His numbers are down, but he was injured earlier in the season. But when he's right, that guy's a talent, isn't he?
He sure is. He's as dynamic as any runner in the National Football League. He's a big back that can churn out some tough yards as well as create those explosive gains. And then you also got to be aware of him when he comes out of the backfield. He can run routes just like a receiver.
One other thing that jumps out at you about the Giants, special teams-wise, and I'm talking about the 4 cores, covering kicks, returning kicks, they're among the league leaders. That's going to be a challenge.
It sure is, and I know we've got to produce and get more from our special teams unit, and it'll be a big test for them this weekend.
Thank you, Matt. Coming up, the last word from the coach. Don't go away. Here's a look at the NFC playoff picture heading into Week 13. The 49ers at 10-1 and the Saints at 9-2 hold the top 2 spots, while the Packers and Cowboys are currently the 3rd and 4th seeds respectively. The 2 wildcard teams are the 9-2 Seahawks and the 8-3 Vikings. Welcome back. Time for the last word from the coach. And Matt, I'm kind of a holiday Grinch. If it was up to me, they'd cancel all the holidays during the football season because they louse up the routine. Now, I don't get a vote, though. You are the head coach. How are you going to handle the Thanksgiving holiday?
Yeah, I think Thanksgiving is a great time for our guys. I think it's important. We stress family environment, and it's an important time for them to be with their families. So we'll condense the day on Thursday. We'll still bring them in, and we'll have a fairly normal Thursday, except we'll cut them out right after practice instead of watching the tape, which is what we typically do, and then we'll extend our Friday a little bit.
Matt, have a happy Thanksgiving, and you have a happy Thanksgiving as well. Until next time, take care.
Oh yeah. Young Moolah, baby.